All right, everybody. Welcome on back to the Rhodes Show, Week 18. I'm your host, Big Brain Benny, and as always, I have Guy here with me. And last week, posted a sub 500, a bad week for the first time all year, and pushing me to below 500 for the year. As you can see behind me, I have Big Brain Benny's gambling graveyard. On there, I have Houston Cougars football. I have Georgia Bulldogs basketball, Virginia Cavaliers basketball, Notre Dame Irish football, any team Matt Prater plays for, the Brooklyn Nets, and now that got added was the Carolina Panthers after their piss-poor showing against C.J. Beathard and the Jacksonville Jaguars. I will no longer be betting on the Carolina Panthers for maybe my life, probably my life, but they are on the graveyard for the foreseeable future. Guy, how was your Sunday?
My Sunday was good. I went 4-2, another winning week in the book. I got a shot at going above 500 here on the year. Love the board this week. Whenever you mention the Carolina Panthers on the Beat the Book, I will say I took them 2 weeks ago and asked myself, what am I thinking? What am I thinking? Good thing I held off last week. The Panthers they're bad. David Tepper, all-time bad look, throwing the drink at a fan.
Terrible. Should have just stuck with just the Packers because that was easy.
I mean, that was a Bush League move. I had Rams -5.5. They were due for a little bit of a down game. As we got close to game time, I started to kind of hate that pick, but whatever, we'll roll with it. San Fran -12.5 was super easy. Washington's kind of given up on the year. I guess, living down here in the D.C. area, you hear about the Commanders, and they're bad. They're bad, and I'll tell you what, their fans aren't even delusional. That was an easy win. Wrapped it up. Dallas -5.5, missed that. I could have easily went 5 really, I could have went 5-1. Dan Campbell kind of screwed everybody there, but it was a good game, and I like the lines. I like the position that my Cowboys are in. Let's wrap up Week 18. Let's move to the playoffs.
Let's go. So, like I said, records to date, I'm at 22, 23-2, looking to post a 500 or better record like I have all season. Guy, like he says, can push to over 500 or 500 since the beginning of the season at 21, 24-2. Our special guest last week, Bean, went 4-3. Such a homer picking the Dolphins. Yes, I rode the Dolphins as well.
Terrible pick.
Such a homer pick, and he could have went 5-2. But 4-3 is a great record. And as always, the rule on the show is if you go over 500, you get a pick on the next week's show. Without further ado, Bean.
What's up, everybody? It's Bean again, back on the Road Show. Thanks to Big Brain and the Guy for welcoming me back for a special guest pick this week. Hope everybody had a great New Year and a holiday season to remember. For this week, my picks are, I have two of them. I am picking the New England Patriots -2 against the New York Jets. Bill Belichick's potential last game in New England, and I think he's going to stiff the Jets one more time. And I think I smell something in the air. I smell Jordan Love. I smell love in the air. I love the Green Bay Packers -3 against the Chicago Bears to potentially get into the playoffs. All right, everybody, have a great week, and let's win. 2-0, 2-0, 2-0.
Bean with 2 plays coming in hot after last week. Let's see if he can ride hot into the playoffs.
Bean did pretty well last week, and I did like a lot of his picks. He had some good analysis there. I don't think anyone's going to beat Marky Stats with stats. Guy was just incredibly terrible at stats too. We're going to hear from him in the playoffs. But I would be remiss if I didn't mention on this show that I took the New Orleans Saints +2.5. And they smoked the Buccaneers. I'll tell you what gives me all confidence in this. Former guest and our first guest of the show, one of our favorite guests we've had on all year, when the Guy and Mr. Prop are riding on the Saints or any bet, it's a lock.
That's true. It's true.
So, Mr. Prop, shout out to you and your Saints. They got it done for me and for you, just like always.
All right, let's move into the game so that everyone's been waiting for it. But wait. It's Week 18, and the viewers, the fans, they're saying, why aren't you guys having another special guest? Well, we were, and it was going to be the special guest that we've been waiting to have on the show for the last week of the season. but he thought some little sales conference was more important than the show, than you guys, the viewers, the fans. So, old man, you have a lifetime ban from the Rhodes show.
Lifetime ban.
So, sorry, one and done chance. Good luck in your sales conference. I hope it's been fun. Let's move on to the games where we got the Houston Texans, basically a playoff game. The Houston Texans traveling to Indianapolis. Indianapolis is +1, over under 47.5. Guys, always kick us off.
Well, I know both of us being Steelers fans and a lot of these viewers here are also Steelers fans would love to see this game end up in a tie. Unfortunately, I don't think this game's going to end up in a tie whatsoever. You would be a dumb idiot to think that these two teams are going to tie, because the Houston Texans are going to kick the garbage out of the Indianapolis Colts. Now, you might say Colts haven't been pretty good. They're a scrappy team. Houston's got a lot to get up for this game. They've been bad the past couple of years. I think the Miko Ryans really has his team ready to go. CJ Stroud came back last week, looked decent. Give me the Houston Texans -1.5. I mean, this is kind of a pick-em game here, really. I would be shocked if this line stayed the same. It might drop down to just a pick-em. But I really like CJ Stroud here to get it done. Big moment for him in his young NFL career. Give me the Houston Texans -1.5.
They're just -1.
Houston Texans -1.
Yeah, just clarifying. So, CJ Stroud coming back, big win last week. Colts found a way to win against the Raiders. Little ass boy, Gardner Minshew, found a way to win. Raiders started to come back a little bit. Indy at home. Houston, like you said, CJ Stroud could make a big statement on his young NFL career. Indy at home. They've been humming. Houston, CJ Stroud's back. Give me this over 47.5. I think this nightcap game, I believe it's on ESPN. I'm not sure. I think both games are on ESPN on Saturday. Nightcap game, gonna go over 47.5. I think the Houston Texans are going to win, but I think the Colts are going to put up at least 20, 23, 24. Texans going to put up 28-30. This game's going to be sweet. This game's going to be dumb. It's going to be stupid. Gardner Minshew is going to make some mistakes. CJ Stroud's going to make some rookie mistakes. Give me this over 47.5. Let's have some fun on Saturday night.
Really like that pick as well, Ben. And little ass boy Gardner Minshew, he's going to come to play. The house that Peyton Bill will be rocking. We really got to avoid the CJ Stroud boo-boo face, but I still love the Texans.
Let's move on to our next game. We'll stick in the AFC South, where another playoff implications on one side, but they're feeling like their mascot here. They're hanging on by a thread. The Jacksonville Jaguars travel to Tennessee at +3.5. Tennessee, only thing looking forward to is that new stadium renovation. Looks pretty sweet. Over-unders at 41. I'll start us off here. Like I said, Tennessee, they have nothing to play for but that stadium. Jacksonville, they stink. I don't know what to make of Jacksonville. They beat the shit out of the Panthers, but the Panthers are terrible. They're on the Big Brain Benny gambling graveyard. They're terrible. I don't know what to make of this game. The Steelers fan in me wants to say Tennessee +3.5. Bad.
Do you need some help, Big Brain? Do you need some help?
Give me some insight. I need some stats.
I'll give you some help. And yeah, obviously, we really want Tennessee here. We really do. And I personally mark it down. I'm on Tennessee +3.5. Where's the fun and rooting for what I don't want to happen? Some confidence in this pick, though. Trevor Lawrence is 5-12 against the spread against teams under 500. Mike Vrabel, who I can't stand, one of our favorite personalities in Pittsburgh, Mark Madden. He came out and he said, guys like Mike Vrabel, if they weren't coaching football, they'd be a gym teacher. I like that mentality. Mike Vrabel said this week that they are not going to lay down and die. I like Tennessee +3.5. They're 5-11, but they're definitely the best 5-11 team I've ever seen.
You know what? I love everything that you said, and the Pittsburgh Steelers fan in me is ride the Tennessee Titans +3.5. Will Levis will get you mayo in your coffee forever. Fucking Derrick Henry, Tractor Cito. It needs to be Tractor Cito in Tennessee one last time. Give me the Tennessee Titans +3.5. Let's ride it home. Let's get the Pittsburgh Steelers in the playoffs. Let's move on to our next game, 425 slate. We have the Chicago Bears, who just secured the #1 overall pick, +3, going to Lambeau Field. Playoffs for the Green Bay Packers? Over-under is 45.
Whenever I first saw Beans pick in Green Bay, I did really like it. This game's at Lambeau. Weather is gonna be awful for this game. I saw a stat. How about Jordan Love has more passing yards this season than any Bears quarterback in the last 20 years? That's absolutely atrocious.
That's pretty bad.
I like what Jordan Love has done this year. He's taken some slack, obviously, because you have the Aaron Rodgers stooges out there. I think Jordan Love's going to have a long career in this league. I think he's very good, athletic. I like the Bears +3 here. I've been betting the Bears all season. Shout out to some of my boys down here. Grrr. I love the Bears +3.5. Actually, it is just +3 now. Just look. Small road dogs under 7 points on the road are 359, 257, and 10 against the spread in the last 10 years. I think this Justin Fields comes out. He's got something to prove going into the offseason. The Packers are very inconsistent. Their defense is suspect. I think Justin Fields he's not playing for his job, but he's playing to just not hear about it all offseason. So give me the Bears +3. I can see this game really going any other way, but I just think the Bears get it done here at Lambeau, make a nice statement to end the year, and the Packers aren't doing anything in the playoffs to begin with, so I don't want to see them in there. Just give me the Bears +3.
Gee, let me ask you, when's the last time you think the Bears beat the Packers?
I don't even want to know.
It was 2018.
Long overdue,
that was 6 years ago. I'm riding with the bean here. Give me the Green Bay Packers -3. I think this game is going to be close. I think, like you said, Justin Fields he's playing to stay on the Bears. He's playing to potentially get more draft capital. He's trying to play for the Bears to make a tough decision. DJ Moore got snubbed from the Pro Bowl. He's playing for something. But like you said, flip-flop game. I think Green Bay needs this game. They need to get in. Jordan Love needs to make a statement this year. I think he goes undefeated against the Bears, -3. He's going to cover that spread. Give me the Green Bay Packers floating their way into the playoffs. On to our last game, and it's the last game of the year. For the East, for the 2 seed, we have the Buffalo Bills going to Miami, laying 2.5. Over-under is 48.5.
The crazy part about this game is if the Steelers take care of business and Buffalo loses, Buffalo is out.
Buffalo's out.
And if you would have told me Buffalo would miss the playoffs at the beginning of the year, I would have called you insane. Absolutely insane. But this is exactly how I wanted the last game of the year to come down to. I said last week the Dolphins are absolute frauds, and they proved it by giving up 59 points or 56 points. That's atrocious. Now, Miami at home is a little bit of a different beast, but I really just have no faith in the Dolphins in big games whatsoever. The Bills are the worst team against the spread in night games the last 2 years. I think the Bills have a lot to play for here. The Dolphins are already in. They lost the #1 seed. They do have some stuff to play for. These teams are familiar with each other. The Bills are going to kind of figure out how to cover Tyreek Hill. They've seen him a bunch. The Bills need a win here. All that being said, I'm going to take the under 48.5 here. I think this game's going to get greasy. And I think if the Bills go up big, let's say the Bills go up 28-0, I think Miami just starts sitting down a bunch of guys because there's really no sense in getting these guys hurt. They're fraudulent. They have a great offense. I could see them making some noise in the playoffs. I don't trust them, but I think the Bills get in the playoffs here. I'm not going to take the Bills on the spread, but I'm going to take the under 48.5.
The Dolphins. What to make of them? They beat the Cowboys. They look solid that game, and then they go out and they get their asses kicked by the Ravens in Baltimore. They've gotten their ass kicked for years against Josh Allen and the Bills. Josh Allen owns the Miami Dolphins. He has part ownership in the Miami Dolphins, as Bean would say. The Dolphins, they have a lot to be playing for. They have a guaranteed 2 home playoff games to be playing for. If 2 home playoff games potentially to be playing for. Buffalo, they need to win and get in because this could come down to it if everything lays out. Steelers win everything else. I think Miami Dolphins find a way to win this game, not taking a money line. Give me them plus 2.5. I'm riding them one last time, 3 weeks in a row. I'm on the Dolphins. Give me them on the right side of history one more time. Knock the Bills out of the playoffs. Send Josh Allen into misery this offseason. Send Stephon Diggs into a crazed diva mentality. Miami Dolphins 2 seed. Me and Bean going to one of the playoff games. Let's go. Dolphins, fins up, 2.5. They're kicking the Bills out of the playoffs. And week 18, it's always time to beat the book. We got our final beat the book, switched it up a little bit. Beat the book play of the day. Guy, you want me to kick us off?
Kick us off, Big Brain.
I looked at this line, and I was looking at the lines all day, and I liked a couple of them. I liked all the games we picked. I like every pick I got, but there was one line that stuck out to me, and I don't know why it's this low. This team just got a different mentality. He's coaching for his job next year. Give me the Las Vegas Raiders -3 at home in the Death Star against the Denver Broncos, who just are a sorry team. Jarrett Stidham, whoever the hell's in at quarterback. I don't care if it's Aiden O'Connell, Antonio Pierce, Max Crosby. The boys are going to be fired up. They're going to win this game. Antonio Pierce is going to be the head coach of the Raiders next year, unless Mark Davis makes some boneheaded decision and hires some fancy coach. But Las Vegas Raiders -3. They're going to win this game. Final week of the year. They're going to step on Sean Payton's throat. Bye-bye, Russell Wilson. Vegas Raiders -3.
Good final beat the book play there on the regular season, Big Brain. I like all the logic there. I want to see the Raiders smoking cigars in the Death Star. They might have missed the playoffs, but I will say, for a team that was down as bad as the Raiders, they've really pulled it out in the final stretch of the season. Now, my beat the book play is a little bit similar. There's been a lot of turmoil around this team. I've talked a lot of smack on this team. The media is written this team off, and as much as I hate them, I love the Philadelphia Eagles -4.5 this week in New York. I think they really turn it around here, make a final statement, especially the Cowboys can lock up number 1 this week. The Eagles are obviously out of that contention, but I like the Eagles mentality coming into this game. Nick Sirianni, the amateur, he's got something to prove at the end of the year here. They got something to prove, some mojo to get into the playoffs. I think the Eagles start to look like the Eagles we're used to seeing. The Giants, they suck. The Giants suck. And yeah, the public loves the Giants for whatever reason. I saw 89% of the bets are on the Giants. What are these people watching? I get that they made it close in Philly 2 weeks ago. Philly's not going to let that happen. Give me the Eagles -4.5. Fly, Eagles, fly.
I almost had the Eagles -4.5 because I looked at that line and I was like, why are the Eagles -4.5 against the Giants? The Eagles need to play like the Eagles, or they're going to get, I don't know, they're going to have maybe one game in the playoffs. So I love the pick.
Either.
And let me remind people, the Beat the Book parlay is only won once this year, and that was the first week of the year, and it was only Guy and I. So if you're going to ride the Beat the Book parlay, I'd ride it hot this week. You put 25 on it, you'd win 93. I'm definitely riding more than that, but gamble within your means, gamble responsibly. But I love the parlay this week. It's going to come back and win at the end of the regular season.
Thanks for being with us here all regular season, even though it was only about 8 weeks. We're excited. We're excited to finish up the year here. I'm excited to get above 500, really scratched and crawled my way. I mean, that's putting the hard hat on and getting to work. We appreciate your viewership. Like and subscribe.
Thanks, everybody. Like and subscribe. Let's win some money this week. See everybody in the playoffs. Take it easy.